I'm Donna Paulnock. I live at 4551 Winnequa Road in Monona, Wisconsin. I'm a professor at the university here in Madison, and I've been at the university since 1983. Oh, what I like about Madison is, it's hard to describe it exactly, but I think it's the fact that people here embrace life. You know, the winters are really cold, so the cool thing is when spring comes, people go outside, they wheel the Weber out and they fire up the grill, and it's springtime. And once it's springtime, everybody goes outside and enjoys the water and enjoys the biking and enjoys the running and the whole environment here. It's a wonderful place to live. And one day I was riding, it was a very hot summer day, and I was riding my bike around the lake, and I was just struck by the fact that I'd lived in Madison for 20 plus years. If I was going to live on the lake, I better think about it sooner rather than later. And it was a revelation. It was a moment where I thought, okay, let's try it. Well, the next thing I did was I hauled out the Sunday paper and looked at all the open houses that I could find that were listed on the lakes and started driving around and looking at them. And it became clear that there were several lakes, several possibilities, several types of homes. So then I approached a realtor. We approached a realtor. My husband and I approached a realtor to sort of help guide us, you know, to sort of do some vetting a little bit ahead of time and talk to us about what we were looking for a little bit, a more focused search. She was a great realtor, and as we worked through the process and got closer and closer to making our decision, and it was clear that we were serious about thinking and making the change, then she put us in touch with Jim, both to give us a sort of reality check. You know, we were getting into the housing market again after a long time of not looking for a home, making sure we had all our ducks in a row. You know, what sorts of things did we need to think about? What was our credit rating like? All these details that you sort of can become overwhelmed by as you think about a house purchase. He just talked to us initially, just kind of figuring out what we were about, what we were thinking about, what we intended, what we hoped we would be able to do. And that was a great start to that whole relationship. He was always coming from the angle of getting information from us. What did we hope to accomplish? What did we intend? And then seeing if he could facilitate that. So that, for us, that worked very well. Having lived in our house for over 20 years by that time, we were thinking forward a little bit and thinking, well, you know, maybe it's time to downsize. And we should think about changing our dynamic a little bit, thinking about the type of house that we wanted. And we had looked at a number of houses that fit that profile. And then we looked at the house we finally bought, which did not fit that profile. It wasn't really a downsize for us, but we fell in love with this house. And what Jim did was he made it clear that if this was our choice, we could manage it. And that was something that we had to find out. You know, were we in a position to be able to take advantage of that choice? And he was very clear, gave us the numbers that we needed to figure out if we could handle it, and we went from there. In terms of looking ahead and thinking about what you can expect from Jim, particularly, I'll say a couple of different things. The first thing is that the information, as I noted earlier, the information that he gave us was very clear, very comprehensive, so that allowed us to feel comfortable about moving forward. And that was huge in terms of making this, you know, another big step in terms of one of the major investments that we all make in our lifetime are our homes, and that's an important investment. The other thing that was very good for me about the relationship with Jim is that I'm not a person who wants to get too involved in the details of aspects of putting mortgages together and thinking about that. I want to see the process in a comprehensive way, but I want to have my faith in someone that the process is moving forward appropriately. And the details, the way he handled the details was just fabulous. I mean, he has a great team. He always has wonderful people that he works with, and they all work as a team to make sure that you get the documents you need ahead of time so you can read them. You get the information that they get about your credit rating and your everything else that you need to think about in terms of the purchase. And so when it comes time to do the deed, it's all just a stepwise process, and it goes very smoothly. And so there's a lot of removal of anxiety in terms of the process, as well as a comprehensive overview. For me, that was huge. It was a great experience working with Jim, and I would fully and totally recommend him for this process. It was great. Well, there is one thing that's left unsaid that's also a positive about Jim that I think should be noted, and that is that even though our relationship started without either of us having known each other previously, he has been a good advocate and advisor as we've moved through processes. We are lucky enough to have a home in another area, and we've approached him about changing the parameters of support for that home at different times, and he stayed in touch with us. He's made us feel that we are his customers, even at the moments where we're not using his services, and he's always been responsive and welcoming, and that's also been very important to us. So he's a keeper.